This year's Christmas pack has been a hard slog, but a lot of fun. Started thinking about it way back at the beginning of the year before I went to the toy fairs. And there's, as usual, about nearly a dozen pieces in there. And some very nice new ideas. One particularly excites me as a new concept which I haven't seen before. So as usual, we've packed it nicely in one of these things which you can recycle that. Something that I always like doing is using a bag which we haven't written on. It's got a clean label on it there. So you can use the bag for sending gifts to people. Inside it you'll find, yep, a plastic bag with instructions and an extra card, which I'll come to. And there's about nearly a dozen pieces in here. I'll spill them out and have a look at them. Nice little packaging too to hold it together, so good start. Yes, there's quite a lot here. So what have we got here? We've got some, well, let's start with a really fine optical illusion from Kokichi. This is extraordinary. When you hold it at a certain angle, you see 4 hearts there. 1, 2, 3, 4 hearts, okay? If you put this on a sheet and put a mirror behind it, something extraordinary happens. But also, if you just turn it around like this, something extraordinary will happen. Because suddenly it's turned into spades, hearts, clubs, and diamonds. What's particularly interesting, if you didn't notice it, is that the heart is still pointed with a point downwards at a certain angle, and then the cusp bit at the top. Just do it again. Just show it again. So there's clearly 4 hearts here. This is really Professor Kokichi Sugihara's one of his best items. He showed this at the Galliford Garden about 2 years ago. I was amazed at it. And now I finally managed to get a source of it. So it instantly turns into 4 suits. So that's a very, very fine optical illusion. I'm very pleased with that. Come to a much simpler idea, which has been out for years, but this is a good version of it. The old House of Marbles used this, and I like it. It's the old finger trap, and they're made in India, I think it is. It's just made of straw. When you squeeze it like that, you see it gets a bit fatter. When you pull it, it gets a bit thinner. So the idea is to put your fingers in. With me, I've got to put the smallest finger in. With the small kids, you can put your thumb in, actually. And you put it in all the way as far as you can to about halfway, and the other side halfway. And now would you believe you're trapped? Because if you try to take your finger out, you're stretching it, and it's thinning and catching and squeezing tight on your finger. You can't get your finger out. So either you can entrap your fingers, I'm in handcuffs now, or you can trap yourself to another person. A small child could put their thumb in one side, and their parent could put their little finger on the other side and get trapped. To release it, you merely have to pull that back and stop it from pulling out like that. And then it comes away. And this one, I've got to pull that and it slips out like that. It's that little bit of movement from there to there is all it needs, and it does it. There's a charming little finger puppet that I picked up at the Nuremberg Toy Fair, which I like very much indeed. Well, we've actually got 3 designs, so we had to choose. There's one for each pack, and this is the one. Well, I like it. I like all of them, actually. This is Nelly the elephant walking like that. It's just 2 fingers. All you would need is just 2 index fingers, and you get it to walk like that, and he can bow to you and things. But there's also 2 other choices, and you can't say which one you'll get. But you'll either have that, or there's a lion, or there's a monkey, and they all look superb, and all work by having just 2 fingers in there, and this movement up and down and over your face, and it's something that small children will take to immediately because it's such an easy thing to manipulate. It's just made of soft rubber, and it's got a very, very nice design to it. To make that work and make it so appealing with such simplicity is brilliant, I think. So I'm very pleased with that one. There's a bit of soap that I picked up at the Museum of Mathematics in America a year or 2 ago. It's called pie soap. Can you see that's a figure pie there? It's a green side, that one. And that's the back of it. It's an American company, makes these soaps in all sorts of shapes, and they wanted pi because it was an Institute of Mathematics, and I liked it sufficiently that we've chosen that as our design. So this is just a bar soap. They'll come in different colours, and you just use them as soap if you want, but at the same time you can remind yourself what the value of pi is. How many places do you know it to? I've tried 15 once at one time, but my brain won't take it now. 3 or 4 at the moment. I do use it as a security code very often, 3.142. I use it so many times, I'm sure people would guess it, so perhaps it's not secure. But there we are. There's a very nice Swedish thing I came across. A company, well, it's a Swedish a businessman, Robe Toys. And it's got some strange material in it. It's a kind of very soft, gooey, rubbery thing, and you put a little um, blowpipe into it and blow it up, and then you pull it out, it automatically seals it, so there's no problem about tying anything. But then because it's sticky, you can attach decals to it, i.e. two black things for eyes, and a nose and a mouth and little legs and things. So there's a lot of play value for this for children. I was surprised just how much you can do with it and what fun you can have. But it starts off with a little blob of the stuff. The person I hear is doing it, and you're putting a little blowpipe in and blowing it up to a certain size, not too big, and then you can have a lot of fun with the little pieces inside. There's quite a lot of pieces, and they call it happy sticks here, but they're really balloon animals, I suppose. That's how to call it. Anyway, that's their name, happy stick, but balloon animals. There's another one here which is starting to get quite familiar. And when we first came across it, I was amazed. This is a Belgian company, I think it is. And these are superb because when you put your fingers through this, and I'll take them out of the package actually to show you what they are. There are three rings which you put over the fingers. They've got ball bearing races and they're magnetic, so they're holding together by magnets. And then you put them, there are three fingers in it and do various actions. Some of the movements they can do, which they show on the back of the sheet here. I'll just bring this up to camera. There's some very nice things you can do with the three pieces, and the fact that they're sticking together and keep sticking and catching each other makes it all the more fun to play with. So a very, very good, it's almost too good to be called a finger fiddle because it's a really nice toy to play with. The next one is a Christmas card. It must be a Christmas card. Where's the entrance to this one? This is Cardology, who makes superb stuff. It's one of our favorite companies, I think, for making really, really nice cards. Comes with an envelope, and then we've got to have it like that. It's Cardology, and look what happens when you open it and you hold it on the flat. This is just superb. Look at that. Oh boy, look at that. Isn't that superb? His reindeer, instead, he's got some carrots there. Look, a couple of carrots he left in him, and there's his footprints there, which is a nice touch. I like that. But it's such a beautiful bit of paper engineering to produce that, and the fact that it goes flat like that, completely flat in the card, makes it a very, very special card. I think that's superb. Then there's another optical illusion from the Japanese, which is, I think this is incredible. It's a pack of 5 of them, actually. A friend of mine bought them back from Tokyo. This is, I call it, they call it mosaics, but I call it distant viewing. And the idea is you look at it very close. The best known one, actually, is that's the top one. And if you hold it a long further, let me see how far back I can go, and you might be able to pick it up what it is. This is Vermeer, and it's a very famous picture called The Girl with a Pearl Earring. Now you get it? Well, sort of. For some people do, and some people aren't necessarily not so good. But there's 5 in the series. That's another favorite one, but from Japan. This is the Great Wave of Kanagawa, like a tidal wave. It's a beautiful picture with a. Is it the right way around? I can't see it. So there's other ones there. There's one particular one which is very Japanesey, but to help you, what we've done is on the instruction sheet, we've added the actual pictures themselves. The one I didn't get when the original fact was my munch was a scream. Ah! And you should have got it with the orange sky. It's this one here. That with the bright orange sky is a giveaway, but it's difficult to see. But we are including a picture for each one so that you can see you can imprint it in your brain what you're expecting to find from it. There's a very nice balloon toy which I've known for years, and this funny it appeared and it disappeared for a long time, and it's such a good idea. I just wish they'd have a more regular marketing to it. It's a little whizzy thing that whizzes round and round and round. It comes with a little pipe like that. There's actually 2 in the packet. You have to put it in. I've got one here which I'll already put in if I can find it like that. That's what you do. You have it with a pipe in it. You blow it up, and something extraordinary happens when you take the pipe out. What's going to happen when I let go of that? Well, I've come a long way out. It whirls around like I don't know what, like a dervisher, and it falls to the ground. Dreadful. And there's two of them, just in case you, and if you lose that, well, you just put a little straw in. I find a little pipe, it works just as well. So I think you'll have a lot of fun with that. Now, procrastination is something we've had sitting there for a long time. We keep putting it off and putting it in, and then finally we've got it in this year's pack. This is Vladimir Krasnikov at his most ingenious. Interesting, he's never done this before. What he's saying is, this is the bit you're playing with. This is just a reference piece. That's a single piece. But this piece, he's asking you to do is to take the three pieces out, only three pieces, notice. That's what's so clever about this. And arrange it so this tiny little empty triangle at the top is filled. It means there's going to be more spaces and things. So you take the pieces out, which is easy to do. Oops. Oh, it's been nicely pushed in. This is a brand new one, of course. So we got 1, 2, 3. Here we are. We now got an empty triangle, and we now have to put the pieces in so that that bit at the very top is filled there, and the other pieces all match to complete it. It's a little bit tricky, to be honest. And when you've done it, you'll find that the little bit of extra piece here is produced by having tiny, tiny gaps in the pieces that fit a little more loosely in. So it's one of those missing area paradoxes that I'm so keen on. I've been showing paper versions of it, but it's made of plastic, and all the time there's a little reference piece here to play. It's extremely well done, and I think Vladimir's done a very nice job with that because he's made it so well. And there's lots of pieces, surprisingly tricky considering it's only just three pieces. Now the last one is I think my favourite, because this is something I was expecting to find an ordinary, the old rub. I've got about 10 of these in my collection. This has got something completely new in it. And I got very excited and talked to an expert friend in America last night about it. What you get in the tube here is instructions, the name. Oh, I've dropped mine. You've got the holy stick itself, and you've got a little propeller blade. And you put the propeller blade on, and then all you have to do is rub it with your nail. You could put a pencil on there as well, but just rub it with a nail. So that's going one way. It's going clockwise to me and probably anti-clockwise to you. This is a bit that I've never come across before. This is not circular. It's not completely circular. It's slightly oval. If I just turn it a subtle 90 degrees, that's all it is. So it's now a flat side, and it makes the thing go the other way. So turn it 90 degrees this way, and it goes one way. Turn it 90 degrees that way or either way, and it goes that way. And because the movement of turning from that to that is so slight, and if you move your hand when you're doing it, you then say, now I'll make it go the other way. That's a secret which no one will spot, but no one, especially the old way of doing it was putting your fingers over either side and pushing it was, well, so well known, it's becoming over known. But this is a new concept. I'll take mine out to Nuremberg next year to show my physicist friend to say, what's going on there? Very interesting indeed. We've also got a little sheet which I like putting in. I've only started doing this, but I send this out every year to my friends as a Christmas enclosure. This is C number 38. It's whatever it is, 2001. And then something on the back as well for a bit of fun. So finally, we include obviously the instructions or the listing of the thing to make sure you got everything you should have there. And on the back of this, we will be putting pictures of those mosaic pictures, including the classic Japanese one. So we've got a very nice pack for you for Christmas, and you're left with a perfectly usable bag at the end of it, I think. Hope you'll be pleased with it. I've had a lot of fun, and with my colleagues Henrik and George assembling it, because it's one of those challenges. You try to find things which aren't too expensive, but have to be very clever too. Have a happy Christmas.